I had a habit of prowling about our garden every evening, gun in hand, and standing guard against the crows. I had long cherished a hatred for those wary, rapacious and crafty birds. On the day of which I have been speaking, I went into the garden as usual, and, after having fruitlessly made the round of all the alleys, the crows recognized me from afar, and merely cawed spasmodically at a distance. I accidentally approached the low fence which separated our territory from the narrow strip of garden extending behind the right-hand wing and appertaining to it. I was walking along with drooping head. Suddenly I heard voices. I glanced over the fence, and was petrified. A strange spectacle presented itself to me. A few paces distant from me, on a grass plot between green raspberry bushes, stood a tall, graceful young girl, in a striped, pink frock and with a white kerchief on her head. Around her pressed 4 young men, and she was tapping them in turn on the brow with those small grey flowers, the name of which I do not know, but which are familiar to children. These little flowers form tiny sacs, and burst with a pop when they are struck against anything hard. The young men offered their foreheads to her so willingly, and in the girl's movements, I saw her form in profile. There was something so bewitching, caressing, mocking, and charming, that I almost cried aloud in wonder and pleasure. And I believe I would have given everything in the world if those lovely little fingers had only consented to tap me on the brow. My gun slid down on the grass. I forgot everything. I devoured with my eyes that slender waist, and the neck and the beautiful arms, and the slightly ruffled fair hair, the intelligent eyes and those lashes, and the delicate cheek beneath them. "Young man, hey there, young man," suddenly spoke up a voice near me. "Is it permissible to stare like that at strange young ladies?" I trembled all over. I was stupefied. Beside me, on the other side of the fence, stood a man with closely clipped black hair, gazing ironically at me. At that same moment, the young girl turned toward me. I beheld huge grey eyes in a mobile, animated face, and this whole face suddenly began to quiver, and to laugh, and the white teeth gleamed from it. The brows elevated themselves in an amusing way. I flushed, picked up my gun from the ground, and, pursued by ringing but not malicious laughter, I ran to my own room, flung myself on the bed, and covered my face with my hands. My heart was fairly leaping within me. I felt very much ashamed and very merry. I experienced an unprecedented emotion. After I had rested a while, I brushed my hair, made myself neat and went downstairs to tea. The image of the young girl floated in front of me. My heart had ceased to leap, but ached in an agreeable sort of way. "What ails thee?" my father suddenly asked me. "Hast thou killed a crow?" I was on the point of telling him all, but refrained and only smiled to myself. As I was preparing for bed, I whirled round thrice on one foot, I know not why, pomaded my hair, got into bed and slept all night like a dead man. Toward morning I awoke for a moment, raised my head, cast a glance of rapture around me, and fell asleep again.